like a buccaneer.
Great morning, great morning, great morning. You mic'd up this morning with yours truly, Michael Clayton. And we're running a little bit late today, but it's all right. My girl Anastasia, she had my back. All right, she rocking in the house, playing music for y'all, getting y'all ready, getting you tuned up for a little message this morning. Now, I've been really busy these past 2 months, Anastasia. Real busy. Real busy. And it's been a blessing for me. Past 2 months, I opened up my second location, roof cleaning business, and I'm going to work every day. And the way that I'm able to provide for my family now has been something I've been praying for about 7 years. Every day. Wanting to fall into something that I don't have to work for somebody or a company that I don't own. I can control my own schedule, and I can still provide financial security for my family. 7 years I've been praying for it, and it just happened 2 months ago. And I'm telling y'all, every day I wake up with a joy in my heart, peace in my soul, a smile on my face, because I'm getting everything that I've worked towards for the past 7 years. Now, in getting that blessing, there's something that I've realized that had to happen. I had to make some mistakes years ago. I had to learn some things along the way so that I can be prepared when God was ready to hand the keys over to me and open the door. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of those things today. COVID is going up. It's real out here. People are contacting me over social media. They're losing family members. Our thoughts and prayers go out to those families who have suffered deaths due to COVID-19. We ask that you protect yourself at all times. Now, we're in the studio here. I'm in the studio. And as I was on my way over here, I saw a guy, Anastasia. He on the side of the road, and he asking for money. Now, he has a mask on, and I've seen this a few times. Sometimes I see this in stores. If you wear your mask the right way, you put it over your nose and your mouth. This way, it protects me and you. Now, if you're wearing a mask and you got your chin covered up in your mouth and your nose is out, that ain't doing me no favors if you got, pieces of your mouth hanging out your mask. If you're in stores and you got to wear a mask, wear it the right way. If you're on the side of the road, I'm sorry for people falling into unfortunate times, but if you got a mask on and you're walking up to people, don't put your mask on, cover your mouth and your nose. Wear it the right way. Just saw that. Thought I'd share that with y'all. A lot of things happening in the sports world as well. We saw Mike Tyson get back in the ring for the first time in 15 years. It was a sight. I know a lot of people are, hovered up in their homes and don't have anything to do, and something entertaining as such was something very appealing to a lot of people. Millions of people watched Mike Tyson, who was 54 years old, fight against Roy Jones Jr., who was 50, I believe he was 51 years old. And it was a sight to see. Anastasia, did you see Mike Tyson? You didn't watch Iron Mike Tyson? You ain't got time for that? Well, a lot of people had time for it. I want to let you know that. All right? We all tuned in to watch Iron Mike. Well, the people who care about Iron Mike. We tuned in and we got thrilled. Now, it wasn't anything special, but it was special to see a 54-year-old man who was once one of the greatest athletes in the world, pound-for-pound fighter, one of the most dominant fighters to ever step in the ring, still have the ability to move around and throw punches and take some punches. It lets you know, it gives you hope when you're getting older. I've gotten hit in my head for, almost 20 years playing football. Started playing football at 7 years old, and I retired because I couldn't do any more hits on my head anymore. And I know a lot of the fighters out there go through the same thing. So it was good to see Mike Tyson back in the ring and enjoying. The great thing, Anastasia, is that they donated a lot of money to charity. So that's why we tune in to support, because not only are they entertaining all of us who are dealing with depression and stress right now, but they also did a great, tremendous work for charity and giving back a lot of money. So we thank you, Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., for what you did. Roy Jones Jr. represents, I think it's Pensacola he was representing. So he represents some part of Florida. So shouts out to Roy Jones Jr. He was one of my best fighters or favorite fighters growing up. So it was good to see those guys back in the ring. Now, moving on. Today, we usually have a guest, but because, COVID is running rampant again, I had a few people cancel on me, so it's all good. We just keep it rolling. Today, I showed up on my work site, 7 o'clock this morning, and it was raining. So I had to come up with a backup plan to keep the job rolling. And we just kind of, we adapt, we adjust, and we continue to work. And I wanted to make sure that I took the time out on my job to come sit in with you guys and just give you a message, what God is putting on my heart today, in hopes that it inspires you to be your very best self. Usually we have Michael's Message, a guest, and then we have call-ins. But today I just want to, just share from my heart, because I got off to a busy start this morning. Worked all last night on radio covering the Bucks. Unfortunately, we lost last night. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But I'm a little bit, just trying to figure things out. But it was important for me to be here to just share a message with you, regardless of if I felt that I was prepared or not. I'm coming in with Miss Anastasia, who has my back. You got my back. And we're going to give you a message today. All right? We're going to give you a message today. So I do a lot of public speaking, and I like to create things that are memorable, because you can read something and then 2 months later you'll forget it. Or you can meet someone and 2 hours later you forget their name. And I'm a visual learner, so I have to create imagery so that I can remember. So when I'm teaching someone how to be their very best self from an experience that I've went through, whether it be a good experience or bad experience or a helpful experience, I like to put things in a way that that becomes memorable to you, so that you can utilize it when it's time. And one of the terms that I created that kind of encompasses a lot of the messages that I give to people is a phrase that goes like this. And if you have a pen, this will be a great opportunity to write this down. So not only will it register in your mind, but you'll have it written down on a piece of paper. You can read it, and it'll kind of jar your memory and bring all of these nuggets that I'm about to give to you. Feed you some nuggets this morning. So grab a pen. This will be a great time to write this down. I coined the term, "It will serve you well." Come on, Anastasia, help me out. Repeat after me. It will serve you well. Come on, you're a little slow on the draw. You got to be ready. It will serve me well.
It will serve me well.
To follow the map.
To follow the map.
Through the fog.
Through the fog.
What does that mean to you? What does
keep
that
your
mean?
Eyes on the prize.
Keep your eyes on the prize. I like that.
Don't get distracted.
It will serve you well.
It will serve you well.
To follow the map.
To follow the map.
Through the fog.
Through the fog. Put your hazards on. Or your high beams.
Put your high beams on.
So you can see clearly.
So you can see clearly.
Yeah.
Well, that's what this message is all about today.
Get them.
That's what this message is all about today. It's about putting your high beams on so you can see clearly. Thank you. I stole it. It's about putting your high beams on so you can see clearly through life's journey. When life puts obstacles in your path, you can see clearly how to avoid, how to get around, and a lot of times how to push through those obstacles. So I want to explain the phrase that I created because it has a lot of messages intertwined in that phrase. The phrase again is, it will serve you well to follow the map through the fog. The three focuses of today are the wells, the map, and the fog. I created acronyms for each word, or I created a message behind those phrases so that I understand and I remember exactly what I'm talking about. So let's start off with the wells. I already asked you to grab a pen and paper so you can write it down and you can go back and read it. I was in a lounge about 7, 8 years ago. A man pulled me aside. Michael, thank you for what you do for our community. It's something on my heart, and he shared this with me, and I've been telling this to people ever since because it registered me so clearly that I needed this messaging, and it was something that I could teach people that they could grasp and learn. It will serve you well to follow the map through the fog. The 5 wells of life. The 5 wells of life. You have to be well read. Everybody say well read. Come on now.
Well read.
Well read. If you read, if you believe that you become smarter by reading, why don't we read more? How many books a day do you read, Anastasia?
I don't read a book a day, but I try to get, about 30 minutes in a day.
30 minutes a day. And that is why you are highly educated.
Absolutely.
That is why you do other people's jobs who have very important jobs to do in the world.
Most definitely.
All right. And you're capable, I believe, because you read.
Yes.
We need to educate our kids and we need to motivate our children to read something every day. Even as you get older, pick up a newspaper. All right. I believe In Touch News. In Touch News got a paper.
In Touch News does have a paper.
Got a paper? You read that In Touch newspaper and stay up on what's going on in your area. Educate yourself. All right? Sometimes we rely on a formal education, but I'm telling you this. I've met success in my lifetime through self-education. We have to learn how to go over and beyond, and that's one of the topics I'm going to talk about today, all right? But we got to learn how to go harder for ourselves, and we got to learn how to read. Everybody say well read. That's the first well of life, well read. The next well of life, you have to be well spoken. Everybody say well spoken.
Well spoken.
You got to get your articulators ready in the morning. You can't show up on the job site talking like you talk to your cousins and your brothers and sisters. If you from a certain part of town, we all know what I'm talking about. In the educational field, they will teach you this in college if you take communications classes, which I did. They call it switching. There's a term. You got to learn how to hit the switch. If you hanging out with your homeboys, with your homegirls, and you talk a certain lingo, you talk a certain way, it's okay. Be comfortable in the privacy of your own company. But when you walk out into the business world and you expect to earn favor, you expect people to look at you and respect you, all right, you have to be able to articulate and pronounce words the right way. It's important. I was taught through one of my textbooks in college that the world will look at you as ignorant by how you speak. Ignorant by how you speak. So a lot of times being a person of color, we don't have a lot of chances. So we got to take advantage of every opportunity that we have. We have to control what we can control, and you have to place emphasis on doing these things correctly every time you get an opportunity to step into the business world. You have to be well spoken. Everybody say well spoken. You slow on that draw. I need you to tighten up a little bit.
I'm trying to share your videos and everything.
I need you to tighten up a little bit.
Doing my
I need
engineer
help
stuff
this
back
morning.
here. Oh my gosh.
The third well of life. You got to be well read. You got to be well spoken. And this is the next well I really love. I really love this well. You got to be well dressed. Oh, man, you got to be well dressed.
Well dressed.
Well dressed. Everybody say well dressed. Like you wake up in the morning, and I know my beautiful ladies out there, even though you don't have to put on makeup, you get your makeup on, you getting your hair did. See, I'm with my family now. I can use these. I can be comfortable with you now. You get your hair did. You getting your wig twisted. You combing, brushing. You're gelling down them edges. I got 4 girls, so I know all about gelling down them edges now. The little swoop, the loop. You got 3 swoops on the side with a little tail hanging down. Make sure that gel is right. Make sure that sideburn don't pop up out the side. You gotta dress yourself up. All right? You gotta raise your you gotta raise your standards. You gotta raise your standards. We gotta cover ourselves up, ladies. We gotta be more modest in this world. I know we live in a world where we have choices, and everybody wants freedom, and everybody wants to do what you want to do and what makes you feel comfortable. But I'm telling you, in the business world, there's a certain way that you got to dress to earn favor, so people don't pass judgment on you. And if you don't care, then hey, don't make me none. But if you place emphasis on the way that you dress, I remember working for Channel 10, and I wore a suit every day. And when it was time for me to go to the bathroom, like when I'm in the comfort of my office, I'll take my jacket off, I'll take my tie off. But when it was time for me to walk around the building, I made sure to put all of my pocket square was right, my tie was back on, my shirt was always tucked in my pants, belt matching my shoes, tie, jacket on, just to go to the bathroom. Mike, why did you do all of that? Because it matters. Because when I walk into a building, I don't know who I'm going to meet. I can meet the GM. I can meet the GM's boss. I can meet anybody. And I want the way that I'm dressing to say everything about me. That's how we got to dress. We got to dress where I don't need to say nothing. When you look at me, you know I'm about my business. Usually I'm in a suit. Today, I'm in my uniform, right? Everybody who works for me on my job sites, we show up. Everybody got on they blue Dickies from Walmart. They're only $20. But everybody gonna look the same. You're gonna have this shirt. This shirt costs $6 to $8. Bleach hit this, it ain't gonna fade nowhere. This shirt gonna last for years. But when we show up matching hats, we got the matching mask, Anastasia. I'm not playing with you. We showing up professional. We separating ourselves because we dressed appropriately for the job. And when we show up, you know that we mean business because everybody's on the same accord. Everybody say well dressed. We got to get
well dressed.
Well dressed. We have to encourage our young kids today to put on some khakis. And, you know, I know we like to wear the tight pants, the skinny pants, and that's all right. It's all right to wear the skinny jeans and the skinny pants. All right, just throw on some lemon pepper steppers. Just throw on some lemon pepper steppers with them khaki pants. Pointed toes, brown shoes. All right, church socks. The lemon peppers. You know, you got to tuck your shirt in, throw a tie, make sure they always have a belt. We got to encourage our young kids to get comfortable with dressing for success at a young age. Once I start wearing a suit every day in television and I start hearing people say, Mike, man, you always dress to the nine. You're the best dressed in the room. Man, I go to Walmart. I go to Publix dressed in a suit because it was just my comfort zone. I wanted to look good everywhere that I went. And I'm telling you, it meant something. People who know me in the Tampa Bay area know when Michael Clayton is out in the public, we're going to be fresh. We're going to be fresh. Well-dressed. You got to be well-read, well-spoken, well-dressed. The last two are very quickly. We got time? The next well of life is you have to be well-traveled. And when I mean well-traveled, I don't mean that you traveled the world. When I say well-traveled, I mean that you have had to experience some type of adversity in your life. You need those hard times to put you in the right mind frame to have success. So once you obtain success, you know how to keep it if you've gone through hard times. You have to be well-traveled so that when somebody else comes along, you got a testimony so that you can give to that person to encourage them to push through life and go earn success. You got to be well-traveled. And when you are well-read, well-spoken, well-dressed, well-traveled, that makes you the fifth well of life, well-balanced. Ball up your fists and say, I'm well-balanced. And it's all about fighting through life, being well-balanced with the 5 wells of life. And when we come back, we're going to go to the map. It will serve you well to follow the map through the fog. Y'all stay with me.
Listen to In Touch Radio anywhere. On your phone.
I'm listening to it right now, man.
In your car.
I'll keep that going.
On your computer. It's a new world, baby, and we are global. In Touch Radio.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
You're listening to Tampa Bay Tammy
Your girlfriend.
on In Touch Radio. In Touch Radio.
Great morning. Welcome back. You're mic'd up in Monday mornings with yours truly, Michael Clayton. And today we're focusing on Michael's message. All right? In the first segment, we just went over the 5 wells of life. I coined the term. It will serve you well to follow the map through the fog. If you're just tuning in, grab a pen. You're going to need it. You're going to need to write a few of these things down to help you through life. These are nuggets to feed your soul. Man, I love me some chicken McNuggets. When I get hungry, I just look for the golden arches, baby. If I get really hungry, I look for that Chick-fil-A. Give me them nuggets with barbecue sauce, Anastasia. Fill me up real quick so I can continue my day. I love some nuggets. And today is all about the nuggets, baby. We feeding your soul with nuggets. Let's continue. As I mentioned, we just went over the 5 wells of life. Being well-read, well-spoken, well-dressed, well-traveled, and that makes you well-balanced. It will serve you well to follow the map. What's the map? Anastasia, what's the map?
Your intuition.
Your intuition. I like it. That's a great guess. Your intuition. What is intuition?
That's that gut feeling.
That gut feeling?
That voice in the back of your mind.
Something that's deep inside?
It's deep in now.
Ooh, I'm about to work on that intuition right now with the map. I like it. We finna work on that intuition. We're going to make that intuition a little bit better today. Because the map is all about three things. M-A-P. What's the map, MC? The map is your mentality. The map is your attitude, and the map is your preparation. Hold on one second. Let me say that again. What's the map? Your mentality, your attitude, and your preparation. Let's begin. When you focusing on your mentality, you have to be in the right mental disposition if you want to obtain success. You have to understand that things are going to be tough. Matter of fact, you got to want it tough. Because only the strong survive, and if you know that you can weather the storms, then you know you're going to be one of those last men or women standing. So you got to have the right mindset first, and it's a way that you prepare yourself. I remember playing at LSU, and we used to come out, and our strength and conditioning coach, the great Tommy Moffitt, he used to put us on the line, and he used to make us run 110-yard sprints. The crazy thing is, they would never tell us how many we had. And if you knew that you only had 10, you would run 10 hard. But if you had 20, Anastasia, you'd be bothered in your mind. But it was those days where we had 40 110-yard sprints. And they wouldn't tell you. And the only way to survive is to be mentally prepared to empty that tank every single rep. And I remember feeling like I was about to die. It was the worst feeling in the world, preparing to be the best in the world. I'll say that again. It was the worst feeling in the world, preparing to be the best in the world. Now, I got a ring and I won a national championship, so that hard work did pay off. We became the best in the world. And after it was all said and done, it was worth it. And what I learned from my journey in football is that you as a person have the ability to train your brain to be strong enough to weather any kind of storm. I remember guys quitting, walking away from football simply because they weren't mentally strong enough to finish the test. They wanted to know how many 110s. Well, all you had to do was to prepare your mind that I'm going to be the last man standing. It don't matter if I had to run 100, I'm going to finish strong. And those who didn't know how to manipulate your mind, they fell short. And there was a reason why I had the favor and had the success of being one of the best wide receivers in the SEC. Leading in yards, touchdowns, first-round draft pick. There was a reason why I earned that level of success. And it was all based upon the mentality. You have the ability to put your mind in a space where you can weather any storm. The M in the map is your mentality. It's very important. Now, the mentality is your inner being. Can't nobody see your mentality, which leads me to the A in the map, your attitude. I look at the attitude as your outward expression of how you express what's in your mind. If I'm on a job site and I'm telling one of my guys, hey, man, roll up that hose reel right there. And he just let it all out, 100 feet. He just let it all out. And I told him, hey, man, roll that up. And he look at me, man, I just rolled that out, and he give me some bad attitude. Like I'm feeling a certain way as a boss on the site because I'm paying you to do what I'm asking you to do. And there's a reason why I'm asking you to do it. Now, just because you don't want to do it doesn't mean that you can't give me the attitude that I'm looking for. And I'm telling you, people on job sites, when you're working for somebody, if your mentality isn't right, sometimes your attitude will give off those bad vibes of what's going on in your head. So if you're not mentally strong, you got an attitude at work, you're a sour apple, you're making other people's job miserable, and you probably won't be there long. But if you take the initiative to control your attitude, but first control your mentality, and then knowing that I have the ability to control my attitude as well, I'm going to have an attitude of purpose, which means I'm going to smile and I'm going to make people happy. All right, I'm going to be a joy to people. I have the opportunity to make people smile, to bring joy to their life. All right, to motivate people to be positive. You carry that energy, you carry that power, and you got to know how to use it. And a lot of times you can use it in your attitude. We are dealing with one of the most detrimental times of our history, dealing with COVID. People are losing their minds dealing with COVID. And it feels good to be around people who still can find the mental fortitude to be positive. I like being around positive people in the midst of drama and struggle and stress because it brings me comfort. If they can be happy, I can find my peace as well. You got to know the power of attitude. You got to utilize your attitude for your benefit and not for your detriment. If you're working on a job, it's beneficial to go to work every day with the right attitude. When I'm on my work site, I'm bouncing around, I'm excited. I'm barking at my guys, but at the same time, I'm complimenting them. Hey, good job. Hey, good job. Continue to work, continue to learn. I'm out there, I'm outworking my workers every time I'm on the site, because when I walk away from the site like I am today, my guys are working, and I'm out here trying to put a good word in y'all ear. But I've set a good example. I've had the right attitude where I believe my guys know how to conduct themselves when the boss leaves. But I got to teach them with the right mentality. I got to teach them with the right attitude. And that just doesn't work on job sites in the field. That works in everything in life. In the classroom, on a football team. All right, whatever you're doing in life, a family member, you can bring joy to somebody by being mentally strong and having the right attitude. The P in the map is your preparation. You got to have a strong mentality. You got to have the right attitude, and you got to be prepared. When you're prepared, good things are going to happen. If you don't prepare, bad things are going to happen. I'm telling you, it's just that simple. It's just that simple. I like to tell people, I call it the ew-wee. Say ew-wee.
Ew-wee.
Ew-wee is the stinking thinking.
Stinking thinking.
The ew-wee, the EW. Never let your expectation be higher than your work ethic.
Ooh.
We're going to learn you today.
You're going to learn me something.
No, the ew, the EW, ew. If you let your expectations be higher than your work ethic, that's ew. Stinking thinking. Never let your expectation be higher than your work ethic. When you're working hard, you preparing to be great, you should expect good things to happen. And they will happen. They may not happen overnight. Like I told y'all, I've been praying for 7 years for an opportunity to create a business that I can earn and bring financial stability to my family, control my own hours, and at the same time bless my community with giving jobs to people who normally wouldn't have jobs. Been praying for a long time. But I've also been working towards this every single day. I'm on my knees first and foremost every single day. I'm greeting people. I'm having the right attitude when I show up in random places. I'm getting to know people. I'm branding myself when people hear Michael Clayton, it means something. It stands for something. So now when I have an opportunity to create a business, I immediately have support because of what I've done, not only in the past 7 years, but the past 15 years of me being here in Tampa Bay. No more stinking thinking. Never let your expectation be higher than your work ethic. If you do, ew, that's stinking thinking. You got to be prepared. Those who are prepared, you should expect success. And you should always be prepared. Today, I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't fully prepared for this moment. But because I've prepared to be a witness to people and to be a light to people, I'm fully prepared of grabbing a mic and going off the top of the dome and trying to make you a better person, because I've been in the field for years and years and years. I'm prepared to do that. Now, I was a little bit nervous, but once we get rolling, you fall right into your purpose. And God knows how to orchestrate things and conduct things, and it always just works out perfect. But it didn't happen overnight. The map. When you lost on the road, you get in your car, what's the first thing you do when you don't know where you're going?
Check your GPS.
You're going to put in the map. You got to follow the map. These are instructions to show you how to get to the destination that you desire. If you desire success, you got to follow the map. You got to have a strong mental disposition. You got to have the right attitude every single day, every minute of the day. Every second of the day. And you got to be prepared for each and everything. If you know your job, if you know your task, then there's no excuse for you not to be prepared. We've gone over the five. It will serve you well to follow the map through the fog. The 5 wells of life: being well-read, well-spoken, well-dressed, well-traveled. That makes you well-balanced. The map, your mentality, your attitude, and your preparation. And when we come back, we're going to go over the fog. Oh, it's dark and cloudy. The fog. Y'all stay with me. We ain't going nowhere. Don't you go anywhere.
Buccaneer. One eye patch like a Buccaneer. How you on the ship, you ain't a Buccaneer.
Thanksgiving is a time of year that we reflect on all the things for which we're grateful. The freedom of this great country in which we live, friendship and family. This is Clinton Paris from the Law Office of Clinton Paris, wishing you and your family all of the best. Happy Thanksgiving.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard, so you don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I was skeptical, but these are actually pretty good.
You don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's politics. It's life. It's the Life Malcolm Show every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on In Touch Radio.
Great morning. We are back. We're about to wrap up the show in our last segment. For those who are tuning in, you got a great chance to call us in. That number is on your screen, should be on your screen. My girl Anastasia is doing her job well. It's on that screen right now, 813-444-9494. 9588. Y'all get ready to call in if you want to chop it up with me. Put some positive vibes in the airways. You have an opportunity to do that. As we wrap up the message today, if you're just tuning in, welcome. If you've been with me throughout the whole hour, well, we were about 4 minutes late. So 54 minutes, it's all good. Y'all listened to some tunes this morning for 4 minutes. It's all good. My girl had my back. She looked out for me. I'm sorry that I was running a little bit late today. We're going to keep it rolling. The 5 wells of life, if you're just tuning in, was the message in the opening segment. Being well-read, well-spoken, well-dressed, well-traveled, and that makes you well-balanced. The map in the second segment was all about your mentality, your attitude, and your preparation. And we're going to close off the message talking about the fog. It will serve you well to follow the map through the fog. Anastasia, what's the first thing you think about when you hear the word fog?
Unclear.
Unclear. Murky.
Murky waters.
Murky waters?
Yeah.
Murky waters.
Disturbances.
Disturbances. All of that.
All that.
All of that.
Yeah.
Let's take it there.
Take it there.
We're going to take it there. That's why I'm a visual learner. I got to put things visually so you remember these things. The fog. What do you do when you're going through the murky waters? What are you doing when things get a little bit cloudy? Let me explain. The fog. The F in the fog, we begin by facing your fears. I remember when I was 7 years old. It was my first day in tackle football. I go out to South Baton Rouge. I play with the South Baton Rouge Rams. And I'm out there in the middle of the hood. My daddy drives off in an 89 Chevy Blazer. I'll never forget that. I start crying out there because I was a spoiled little boy. They had jokers out there cursing with silver teeth. All right? Scars and marks all over their helmets. I was scared out there in South Baton Rouge around them jokers. I was scared. I'll never forget my great coach, Coach Maylene Brooks, Coach Choo Choo, one of the greats. He was Warwick Dunn's mentor and coach when Warwick Dunn was younger, and we all know how Warwick Dunn turned out. He turned out to be a great man, doing tremendous work not only for his community but for the country. And I came under the same path as Warwick Dunn, had the same coach. And my first day in tackle football, Coach Choo Choo looks at me and he says, "Hey, give me you, Johnny Ball Chess." And all the teams start laughing. He call you Johnny Ball Chess. And then he says, and give me you, Big Derek Perkins. And everybody said, ooh. And I knew what that meant. I knew I was in trouble. Now, Derek Perkins, I just reached out to Derek Perkins on social media. If you're watching, my boy, I'm going to reach out to you. I got to talk to you because I tell these stories all the time. Derek Perkins was a guy, I think we may have been like, I said we was 7, 8 years old. He played in the 10 and under league. He was just that good. He was a headhunter, wore a big old bull neck. He was ugly, and I was just playing. He was scary. He was scary. Everybody was scared of Big Derek Perkins. And now I'm getting called out. I was a shy, scary, skinny little kid, and my coach, calling me Johnny Ball Chess, just put me in a hitting drill with one of the most fierce men on the football field. Everybody else had on white jerseys. He had on a yellow jersey. So you can't miss him with a blue helmet. Everybody else had on white helmets. He had on a yellow jersey and blue helmet. I wanted to stay away from this dude. But here I am, faced with fear, and all I could think was I wanted to quit. We get in the hidden drill, and I remember a vision came to me where I used to play football growing up with my cousins, where they used to rock us. We used to play football in the pastures in Mississippi from sun up to sundown, and my older cousins wouldn't take it easy on us. They would thump us. Boom. We on the ground. We'll be crying. They'd be like, suck it up. You got to be tough. Suck it up. I remember those moments, and I'm in this hidden drill, and I want to quit. I want to walk away from football right then and there at 7, 8 years old. Something deep and down inside of me say, man, give it all you got. You got what it takes. And I'm like, I'm trying to fight the enemy. Like, no, I don't have it. I don't have it. I want to quit. But that mentality within me, that inner being, all right, that inner man was like, give it to him. Yes, you got this. And I remember Coach Choo-Choo saying, down. Say, hut, hut. We pop off the ground, and I run towards Big Derek Perkins. I close my eyes, and I give Big Derek Perkins all I got. Bow! We stalemate. And everybody just looked because they had never seen Big Derek Perkins lose a hidden drill. And he didn't lose. We tied. We just hit, boom, and we just stood there. And everybody that Big Derek Perkins hit, he annihilated. You went to the ground. But not today. Not today. He met his challenge today, and everybody was like, oh. And Coach Choo-Choo said, ooh, I found a gym. I found a gym. I was like, no. He said, again. I'm like, no, my neck hurt. My neck and my back is hurting right now, Coach. I gave it all I got. Coach Choo-Choo said, no, again, down. Yeah, he yelling, he pumping it up. I'm like, no. Set, hut. And I got to go face Big Derek Perkins again. Neck hurting, back hurting. I close my eyes, and I give Big Derek Perkins all I got again for the second time. Boom! We stalemate, and both of us just fall backwards on our butts. The whole team just rolled. They ain't even look at Big Derek Perkins. They came and got me off the ground. They picked me up, and they started toting me around. They was like, oh, MC. And Coach Choo-Choo said, you ain't a sleazy. He said, you ain't a Chinese ball chest. You a sleazy yellow dog, is what he told me. He said, you a dog now. You got that dog in you. And from that day forward, because I decided to face my fears, I played the game of football with a reckless abandon. I annihilated everybody that I hit. If you don't believe me, go YouTube my high school tape. Go YouTube my college tape and watch how I used to take helmets off. I was fortunate enough to be drafted in the first round. I played 8 years in the NFL, made millions and millions of dollars. I won a Super Bowl. And all of that came because at the age of 7 or 8, I decided to face my fear and meet one of my true destinies in life, which was to play the game of football. It changed my life. From that moment on, every time that I've met fear, I know what's on the other side. Success is on the other side of fear. Your dreams, your desires, everything that you want in life is on the other side of fear. But you got to follow your map. You got to have a right mental disposition, the right attitude. You got to prepare, all right? And when fear comes your way, you got to be ready to stand up and go through fear. Because what you want is on the other side of fear. You got to get through it. These are the foggy times. And this is how you get through the fog. You do the F in the fog. You face your fear. The O in the fog. Oh, the O. Oh, the O, Anastasia. The O is overcoming adversity. Sometimes we go through things in life that are just not planned. You get sick, diagnosed with cancer. You're only 30 years old. Your baby is sick, diagnosed with a deadly disease. And all they have is life ahead of them. Mama's sick, got cancer. You don't know what to do. You lose your best friend, your cousin, your brother. All of these types of adversities will happen to someone one day. And nothing in this world happens for naught. Everything in life has its purpose. And if we can muster the strength to prepare ourselves to overcome adversity, to never be discouraged always be encouraged when the fog hits, knowing that you have the tools, what you need to get through this tough time, to overcome the adversity. These are the nuggets you need in life, because I promise you, Satan is going to send that time your way. He's going to try to destroy you. But if you're prepared for that moment, you'll breeze right through it. You got to overcome adversity. The G in the fog is going over and beyond. Going over and beyond. When I was 15 years old, I worked at Sam's Club. I was a cart guy. I used to fill in the carts. That was my job. And after I filled in the carts in the area, I would walk to the cashiers and I would ask the cashier, do you need help? And then I would walk the customers out and I would box their groceries up in boxes and I would stack their groceries in the back of their car, making sure that nothing broke or making sure nothing spilled. I was the cart guy, but I was going over and beyond the call of duty. My manager looked at me every day. While the other cart guys, you had a bottle of water, my manager used to tell me, Michael, anything you need, you go down to aisle 7, you get you some Gatorade. You make sure you keep Gatorade in your tank. Because he appreciated me going over and beyond. Why do I tell you how important going over and beyond is? When I was a freshman at LSU, my first game, we played against Tulane. I'm walking down the legendary Tiger Walk. And there my Sam's Club manager is opening my door. He was a volunteer door opener. And Mr. Remy looked at me. He gave me a big hug, and he said, I'm so proud of you. I tell everybody around here about your work ethic. And one day I'm in Coach Saban's office, and I'm asking Coach Saban, Coach, like, why do y'all always, like, it seems like y'all treat me so well. Like, how did y'all know about me? I went to a small 2A school, all right? How did you learn about me? And Coach Saban looked at me and says, Mike, we did our research. They used to tell us how you worked at Sam's Club, and we knew that you was our #1 guy. And it hit me to the point to where it brought tears in my eyes, because going over and beyond working at Sam's Club played a part in me earning favor in my football career. How many times have you been on a job where somebody say, that ain't my job? I ain't doing that. You're missing an opportunity if you don't go over and beyond. You want that raise, you go over and beyond. You want that favor, you go over and beyond. And that's how we're going to win in life as a people. It don't matter what your race is, what your religion is. As a people, it will serve you well to follow the map through the fog. You focus on these things, the 5 wells of life. You focus on the map, the mentality, the attitude, and the preparation. You face your fears, you overcome adversity, and you go over and beyond. I promise you, one point in your life, maybe even twice, you're going to find the success that will be life-changing to you, just as God has opened that door for me. I pray that this message today has hit your heart, your soul, your spirit, and it's turned you into a better person. Thank you for tuning in. You're mic'd up on Monday mornings with your boy MC. I'm Michael Clayton. Thank you. And we will see you next Monday. Y'all be blessed.
Buccaneer, Buccaneer, Buccaneer. One eye patch like a Buccaneer. How you on the ship, you ain't a Buccaneer.